And our second heuristic is keeping the options open. So if we have this optimization and centralization routine that we've been playing over the last few decades globally, that reduces adaptability in the face of novel circumstances. And it's of course very efficient if everything goes according to plans, but you know how often that happens already. So the more complexity there is, so the more variety there is, the more you need adaptability. So you need the potential to respond in many different ways. And this sort of implies that you coordinate those parallel iterative explorations and have a selection mechanism to choose the best things that come out, which are often unexpected, and you can't decide what to innovate in advance. And importantly, the more irreversible an action is, the longer it should be explored in small scale without committing to it fully. Because if you put it in place and it turns out that it works poorly, then you're in then your options are not as wide as they would have been without doing this thing. And one way of thinking about this wideness of optionality is that in the case of these exponentially growing threats, think of a lily pond. So this riddle goes such that on day 100, this pond is full of lilies. And every day, the number of lilies doubles. So on which day is the pond half full of lilies? And so many people's intuitive answer is day 50, and that would be correct if this was a linear, so remember complicated linear problem. But actually this pond will be half full of lilies on day 99 if it's full of lilies on day 100. So there's a huge jump because it's exponential growth. And just to illustrate it visually, here you have 2 that become 4, that become 8, and so forth. And so it happens really fast. And that's why prevention is really key in keeping your options open, because if you let the exponential curve catch speed, then in the end you might have only one option left, which is in the case of a pandemic, it could be that you just need to lock everything down and you can't do anything else. Or you might have to use all your healthcare resources into burying the dead or something like this. But yeah, so prevention is also politically very difficult because it's quite rare that someone would congratulate you for an event that never happened, whereas resolving a difficult situation is actually something where you can get medals from. And this is also something that was taken up in the Independent Panel for Pandemic Preparedness by the WHO Executive Board. They talked about the precautionary principle in this document, but interestingly, they also mentioned this substantive community engagement. which have been really widely meeting in the Western world. And I just wanted to highlight the prevention part of this paper, which I mentioned earlier, was one of the sort of most noted papers in the history of scientific publishing that I had the opportunity to be part of. And so here, this panel of 100 something experts, we propose this vaccines plus approach where prevention is really a key, and we should take up these social measures, structural interventions such as especially like ventilation and air filtration, face masks, and so forth, and governments to regulate and incentivize the development of these prevention measures. Of course, none of this was taken up, which sort of gives you an idea of the disconnect between science and policy.